Well, a very good morning everyone. Welcome back to Hammers About. My name is James and today we are going to be taking a trip on a Polish train with the national rail operator PKP InterCity on what I think I have found is the cheapest intercity train ticket in all of Europe, possibly the world. Now today we're going to be taking a trip from here, the Polish capital of Warsaw, up to Białystok. Now that is a total journey of 125 miles, and this train that we're going to be taking cost me 14 Polish zloty, which is around £2.80. Now for context, that makes today's train an absolute bargain with a price per mile of 0.023 pence per mile. I don't think there is a train anywhere else in Europe that has a price per mile that low. So we're going to take it and we are going to see what it is like on Europe's cheapest intercity train. But firstly, I need to get into Warsaw Central Station. So let's go and get the train from here into the main centre of Warsaw. And here we are at Warsaw Central Station. Just got off the train at Warsaw Śródomiejście, I'm going to say, or Warsaw Downtown on the kind of local trains. Just a short walk underground brings you right onto platform 1 here, which is where our cheap as chips intercity train is going to be departing from very soon. Now I believe it's leaving in around 35 minutes from now. I'm just going to loiter around here on the platform and we will see what this dirt cheap train has to offer. And here we are, our train has finally arrived. This is our train which will be taking us down to Białystok today on our 125 mile jaunt for just 14 zloty. Now remember, that is a price per mile of 0.024. Now that is absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you what, that is a fine looking train. Goes all the way down there. I think it's about time we get on board and head off to Białystok. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board the 14 zloty, £2.80 intercity train to Białystok. Now, first impressions are this is really quite nice. The seat is already quite comfortable. I'll give you a tour of my seat and the other seats a bit later on, because what I've noticed is, even though most of this train is second class, each train carriage seems to have different seats in it. So the seats in this coach are different to the ones in the coach behind us. But we'll have a look at those in a bit. But this is fairly comfortable, and I've actually got quite a lot of room to say this is second class. So when we get underway, I'll give you a tour around my seat and the other seats. And I think this will more than do for the 1 hour and 50-minute jaunt over to Białystok. Just like all my trains in Poland, we left right on time, ready for our 1 hour and 50-minute journey across Poland. We crossed over the famous Vistula River, passing the very impressive Polish National Football Stadium, before leaving the city for our journey through the Polish countryside. Right, I think now is as good a time as any to give you guys a seat tour. So this train is laid out in a 2x2 configuration here in second class, and each seat does have its own individual little table there, which is large enough. There's my hand for reference, with its own little cup holder, which is quite nice. Under each seat we've got a little, I can never remember the bloody name of it, a seat pocket, that's the one. We've got our own individual little bin there, which is nice at every row of seats. The seat itself is large with big headrests on both sides, which is very nice if you want to go to sleep. very, very well padded, comfortable seats, which are very comfy and really wide as well. Both got very large padded armrests as well. There's also a recline lever just under here, which offers a couple of inches of recline, although you do have to force it quite hard. We have also got an EU plug socket, however there is only one plug socket per every 2 seats, so if you're travelling with somebody that you don't know, you may be a bit of a fight over the plug sockets. And lastly, we have an absolute abundance of legroom here. To say this is second class, this is absolutely incredible. Now for reference, I'm 5'10", and I genuinely think if you were 8'10", you'd have more than enough legroom in here. Welcome to the second class toilet on board the cheapest train in Europe. It's really, really spacious. Got loads of room to move about. Got a little viewing window there. Toilet. We all know what a toilet looks like. We've got multiple coat hooks on board the door. A little wash basin. Soap, everything you need really for a toilet. Little bin just down there. Toilet paper for some reason is over here. So if I'm sat on the toilet, bit of a reach if you're small, but really clean as well. This is a really nice train toilet. Okay guys, so these are the seats in the entire rest of the cabin apart from the coach that I was in. So I'm going to give you a little tour around these carriages as well. So these seats are also in a 2x2 configuration, however they are a lot taller than the other ones. They are definitely more modern as each seat has its own individual coat hook, as well as a large, and I mean a large, drop-down tray table. Now that's my hand once again for reference. These are a lot bigger than the carriages that I was sat in. We've also got another seat pocket behind both seats, but these seats also have a little footrest in case you want to use it. Still got an individual bin, however it's now in the middle and is a bit larger. On these newer seats as well, you'll find a EU plug each plus 2 USB ports, which is really good for a modern train. The seat itself is a lot taller than the other seats I was in, with the headrests being a lot more prominent, holding your head a lot more in place if you wanted to go to sleep. They're also still really well padded and very more than enough for these journeys. The armrests aren't as padded as the previous coach, so I think I prefer my armrest to these, but these seats are a lot nicer. Once again, a reclining lever, which is just here, and it offers you a good amount of recline, about the same as the previous seats. So I think overall, the seats in this carriage and the rest of the train are probably a lot nicer. And definitely for the price of £2.80 for a 2-hour train journey, one of these seats is more than going to sort you out. I soon settled down on board as we trundled through the beautiful Polish countryside, passing through some pretty woodland areas, and before I knew it, we were slowly pulling into our final destination of Białystok after a very comfortable ride on one of the cheapest trains I have ever been on. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, we've finally arrived in Białystok on Europe's cheapest intercity train. Now that was not a bad journey at all. It took around 1 hour and 50 minutes to cover the 125 miles, all for just 0.023 pence per mile on the 14 zloty train. Now that is absolute value for money for the distance that we have covered. And those seats were really comfortable. It was a very smooth ride and a really clean train. Very, very impressed. England really needs to up its game, because if this is what's on offer in countries like Poland, then England really needs to sort itself out, especially for the price. I don't know where in England, how far in England do you think you could go on a train for that price? Probably about 2 miles. Anyway, and if you have stuck around this long, firstly, thank you very much for watching today's video. I do hope you have enjoyed my trip on Europe's cheapest intercity train from Warsaw to Białystok. Now make sure you are subscribed to the channel not to miss my next few videos or any of the ones that you may have already missed on my Polish adventures so far. I'll put a link to those in the description of this video or either up in one of these two corners that you can check out yourself after this video is finished. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video and coming with me on my Polish adventure to Białystok. Make sure you are tuned in for my next video where I will be travelling from here back to Warsaw on another train. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you guys later. Gdańsk Główny, Gdańsk Brzeszcz stoi na torze 4.